In the page that we created earlier for add instructor, so we had some problem with aligning these radio buttons and the label properly, and we resolved it by using some margin right to these radio buttons. So what we did there was add instructor personal, add ins personal. Here we added some margin right to the form check. Form check class is this one. This one actually it's this one. This one that encloses the radio button and the corresponding label. So that form check class is applied to the div which encloses this input type radio and the label. And what we did was we targeted this form-check class in the main.scss and we added margin right. So as a result, these were pushed towards left, and this is the margin right that we added. But the issue in this approach is if we resize this and say if we open this page in a monitor which is of different size than this, so we can make it like this. We can resize this page, and if I resize it, we can see all these text boxes are still aligned and the labels are still aligned, and these are also like that, but this radio buttons and the labels are now out of align. So we have to fix this, because although currently it shows as aligned, it's because that with the margin right we added is matching for this width of this monitor. So but we want to have another way to align this properly, so that in other screen sizes also it will still show as aligned. So to achieve that, we can use some other mechanism. So first let me comment this rule, and once we comment this rule, and let's refresh now, and now it is showing like this. So what we have to do now is we have to add another div enclosing both of these radio button and labels. So right now this radio button and label is enclosed in this div, and there's another div which encloses the other label and the other radio button. So what we have to do is we have to add another div which encloses both of these divs. So let me do that first. But it is still inside this main div that has this status indicator. So we are not going to touch that one. Inside that div, I'm going to add one more div, and I'm going to place both these divs inside this new div that I created. That's not going to change anything yet, because we have to add some classes. So if I align it and let me save it and let's refresh. And so right now it is showing like this. So and let me add some classes, and after that it will fix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a class to this new div, that is dflex, and I'm going to use justify content start, and also I'm going to use align items and align items center. So these are display flex properties. So what I did was I added display flex to these uh, radio button and label collections. There are two radio buttons and two labels. So those are enclosed within one div, and by enclosing those two divs, I added another div, and to that div I added the display flex, and I added the justify content start. That means those will align to the left, and align items center to vertically align in the center position, and by default the direction flex direction will be rows, so we don't need to add that. So if I refresh now, it is showing like this, and we can confirm that it's the flex direction rows, because earlier it was on top of each other. Now soon as we added that deflex and justify content start, now it is this direction. So in addition to that, I'm going to add one more class. Now if I resize this, it's still not fixed. It is still out of alignment. These are still aligned. So if we think about what is the difference between these text boxes and these radio buttons, let's go to this and let's check this one. This one with label and input text box. So every input element we have added this form hyphen control. So in the select box we added form hyphen select, but still it is a bootstrap class. And all other text boxes we added form hyphen control. Even for the text area also we added this form hyphen control. That's the class these radio buttons missing at the moment. So if I add this form hyphen control to the new div that I created, not to these inner divs, we want to add that form hyphen control to the outer div that I just added, because this part we need to have the same size as this text box. Only this part. This label should appear from this point onwards to left. But this part we want to have the same size as this text box when we resize the browser window. So to achieve that, I'm going to add the form control class to this like this. So once I add that, let me refresh. Now these radio buttons are also same size as these text boxes, and it's also aligned to this other text boxes. But only thing is, for these radio buttons we don't want to have this kind of border. So to get rid of the border, I can simply add border hyphen 0. And now border is also no longer visible. And let's resize this. Now when it is resized also, the alignment still uh, there because of the class that we added, that form hyphen control. But on the other hand, the other radio buttons are out of align because we did not add that new div or that form control to that other radio button collection. So let me do that for the other radio buttons also. Now these radio buttons are also perfectly aligned, and when we resize, still keep the alignment.